BattleBots has returned for the 2023 season. And yeah, it's back better than ever. So here's my review of the first episode. So note that this will just be based off the fights because those are probably the bits you want to hear about more than the others. And sorry I haven't been posting much, I've just been away for the past week. So yeah, with that also I'm going to be doing more stop motions in case that's what you really want to see. And yeah, let's jump into the review of BattleBots episode 1. Our first match was Witch Doctor versus Ribbot. Now, this year's Witch Doctor looks incredibly deadly with that single disc weapon that they used at Champions, and towards the end of their season, I believe they started using it after that either Minotaur or Copperhead match, and it seems like it's probably more reliable. It's got a bit more armor by the looks of it, and the top armor looks a bit more solid, so yeah. And facing Witch Doctor is Ribbot. Now, Ribbot is the killer frog. It's got multiple weapons and multiple configurations. So yeah, it's done really well in the past. It beat up hard. It's had a few upsets. It's a really powerful bot under that frog hood. So I was just really excited to see it this year. And right out of the gate, the two robots locked horns, and they were at equal ground clearance, which I thought was interesting given the fact that Ribbot had forks. Then this is the exact moment things started going haywire for Ribbot. Witch Doctor got to its side and just ripped off that wheel in 10 milliseconds. Then went around to Ribbot's front again and probably hoping to rip off another wheel. The two robots went weapon to weapon, and there was just a shower of sparks from the two weapons colliding because these are two high caliber weapons. Ribbot just got sent flying across the arena, which also gave us a good look at the Save the Frogs logo, but it gave Ribbot a bad time. Have another big hit to Ribbot, and which I believe was the one that sent it to the corner of the arena. And Witch Doctor just hit Ribbot when it was in the corner, and I don't know what happened, but Ribbot basically just stopped after that hit. And this really goes to show just how powerful this new Witch Doctor is. Witch Doctor then gets to the side and rips a wheel off, and I think that's also partially what led to Ribbot getting KO'd. And that's basically what spelt the end for Ribbot, as it got counted out, dead in the corner, with half of the thing that helps it be invertible ripped off. Really, Witch Doctor just brutalized in this fight, and yeah, there's nothing really else to say. That basically just summarize. Those two words just summarize it so well. 3 words. Brutality from Witch Doctor. No, that's 4. Up was the return of Quantum, who was taking on Captain Shredderator. Now, really, the only way I could see this fight even before the episode was out was Quantum just crushing the absolute heck out of Captain Shredderator. And that's basically what happened. Quantum, it really shows how good control bots can be. And Quantum just came out with this massive box rush and smashed Shredderator into the side of the arena, and it would then bite down on it, and yeah, this was the start of the end for Shredderator. Then Quantum bit down on Shredderator and started carrying it across the arena, smashing it into everything. Here's where Quantum had Shredderator under the pulverizer. You have Quantum's first big bite, and I believe this is what caused Captain Shredderator's weapon to stop. Quantum smashed Shredderator into the screws, and I believe there was even a bit of fire there, which is really cool. And then left Shredderator on the screws, which was basically what finished it off, really. Or it might have been finished off by this crush here, where you can even see flames coming out of Shredderator from those teeth on Quantum. Then Quantum carried it over to the Shredderator over to the side of the arena, and I believe there might have been an internal fire on Captain Shredderator. So this is where Shredderator got KO'd, and really I see Quantum as one of the big crushers to watch out for in any future season. Honestly, this match was really cool, and I personally really enjoyed it. I know Shredderator fans probably didn't really, and there's probably some people who didn't enjoy it, but I really liked it. It was fun to watch, and yeah. Then Gruff vs Ripperoni happened, I guess. I don't know if this is the best image, but Gruff box rushed Ripperoni, full flames blazing, and yeah, to get Ripperoni into the air a bit, which was pretty cool. Of course, more flames from Gruff. Really cool there. Here's the first big hit, which sent Ripperoni on his back and Gruff a few meters away from Ripperoni. It was pretty cool. Ripperoni then got a big hit, though I think this is where Ripperoni's flywheel might have broke, because you can see something on the floor there. Don't know what that was. Then, like I mentioned with the flywheel, it broke. Then Ripperoni started to fling across the arena, which was a bad thing for it. Gruff then pursued Ripperoni and nearly lifted it right out of the arena with the gyro of that massive weapon. He then went unbalanced and hit the floor and sent itself flying and spinning midair into the sky. Here's a bit more of Ripperoni going completely haywire and destroying itself on that spinner of its. Then Gruff got in this really cool looking suplex thing and sent Ripperoni across the arena, nearly onto the upper deck. Here's another one of those. Ripperoni going on its side, then Gruff lifting it up, and yeah, Ripperoni tends to do that a bit against Gruff. Then here you have more Ripperoni going completely berserk, and even more Ripperoni going completely berserk. Then in the final few seconds, Ripperoni started to smoke. I think that a fire started in Ripperoni or something, but I think that pizza got a bit burned. And then it went to the judges because that was in the final 10 seconds. And of course, the judges unanimously voted to Gruff, which is kind of surprising given the fact that Ripperoni did damage, and they tend to favour spinners. But yeah, cool win by Gruff. An entertaining fight for sure. Next up was Huge versus Shatter. Now, I definitely expected Shatter to win this one because Huge does not have a good chance, because it seems like Huge's armor on where the actual robot is too fragile to survive a hammer hit. Like, it'd probably just combust, then either the weapon or drive completely cuts off, but that's not exactly how it happened. Shadow decided to show off some driving skills and did two 360s to then face Huge and get hit in the face by Huge's weapon. Then the two robots basically go weapon to weapon and Shadow gets flying right towards the upper deck. Then it self-rights, but it also gave us a good look at the Omni wheels. Then Shadow hit Huge in the face, which was probably not very nice. Then the two robots were at a bit of a standstill, and with Shadow firing its weapon a bit and Huge landing a few small insignificant shots until Huge hit Shadow right in those huge aesthetic eyes thing that Shadow had going on. Shadow had a bit of its top armor ripped off, but then it got to the side of Huge and chopped off one of those anti-whatever it's called bars. Huge then retaliated with a huge shot right to Shadow's side and sent it into the air, which was pretty cool to see. Huge then got around to Shadow's back again and hit it with a bit of a less meaningful shot than the last one. Huge then hit Shadow's side, which caused part of its top armor to come off, exposing the batteries, so I think you can kind of tell where the fight went from here. Huge then sent one of Shadow's huge eye mimicry armor things into oblivion. Huge then hits Shadow one more time, and seems like there's a bit of fire in Shadow now at this point. Huge then peeled off even more of Shadow's armor, but still one of those reflective panels was surviving on Shadow. Shadow then hits one of their hammer swings and sends Huge onto its side, which very nearly could have won it the fight, which might have been kind of cool to see. Sort of like a midway twist point. Huge then sends Shadow onto the rail after another flurry of blows from Huge. And this basically was the end of Shadow's fight. So yeah, Huge won that fight. Great display from them. And also a pretty good display from Shadow, who I know they lost the fight, but hey, they still looked pretty good, but Huge was really impressive this time. Next was Glitch vs Riptide as a battle of the co-rookies of the year from last year. And in that first hit that happened, Glitch was basically knocked out because it got inverted and it probably took massive internal damage. Riptide then hits Glitch and Glitch ends up on the screws, pulled onto the upper deck, inverted, and that was it. It was a really quick fight, and to be honest, I kind of was hoping for more. Next up was Vertical Spinner free shipping, taking on Gigabyte, which seems pretty cool. And Gigabyte immediately throws itself into the screws as free shipping tries to box rush it. Free shipping then gets under Gigabyte and damages the underside, where they are not as well protected due to most of their weight being in the spinner. Free shipping then gets under Gigabyte again and hits it up into the air, which, yeah, pretty cool that this weapon's doing damage. Just some fire coming out of free shipping. This is from the flamethrower, not from the robot getting damaged or anything. Free shipping then hits Gigabyte again, and yeah, this weapon's looking pretty good on free shipping. I like it. Then both robots smash themselves into the side wall of the arena right in front of the teams. Both robots go weapon to weapon and both get sent flying back a bit. It looks like free shipping is still winning these exchanges though. More weapon to weapon action as both robots send each other flying across the arena into opposite sides, and both of them again hitting the wall. Free shipping then rushes over to continue its barrage of attacks on Gigabyte, hitting the self-rider, hitting basically everything on Gigabyte. And the self-rider pole comes off, and Gigabyte now tries to become a battle Beyblade, or just a Beyblade. And free shipping is basically destroying Gigabyte. Then free shipping basically KOs Gigabyte, then decides to light itself on fire. But yeah, free shipping won. That new weapon's looking decent, though it's not quite as entertaining as that forklift once was. But yeah, free shipping already doing better than it did last year. Having at least one main series win, which is better than the really low 0-4 last year, and if you include champions, 5-1, which still isn't good. But yeah, free shipping looking pretty good this year. Main event time with Tantrum taking on the Brazilian Minotaur. Tantrum started off by zipping around Minotaur and eventually getting to the size where it hit a tiny little punch with that tiny little punch. Tantrum then managed to flip Minotaur over with that little punching weapon. This time the robots go weapon to weapon, and Minotaur actually hit the front wedge of Tantrum, which ends up playing a bit more of a role than you would probably expect later into this fight. Minotaur then gets its first big hit in, managing to flip Tantrum over and send it up into the air a little bit. Minotaur then, after Tantrum is thrown over, hits it again, this time letting it gain even more airtime. Or also then managed to whip off one of Tantrum's self-riding arm things, as well as land another big hit onto Tantrum. And the last weapon to weapon hit. Tantrum ends up getting flipped over and unable to self-ride due to that broken self-rider arm, giving Minotaur the win by KO, meaning that Tantrum becomes the first reigning champion to lose their first fight of the next season, and the first champion to lose any of its fight night matches. So yeah, Minotaur gets a huge win there, and the team's probably very excited about that. And hey, good job Minotaur, you beat a champion. You're one of the few robots that has done that. So that wraps up all the robot fighting action that happened in this week's episode of BattleBots. Now, this was a pretty good episode, not the best one out there though, but still pretty good. I enjoyed it. Let me know if you want me to continue this as a series in the comment section. And please do like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that kind of stuff. It really helps out the channel. I'm trying to reach like 100 subscribers. We're so close, we're like 20 subscribers away. So if you could subscribe, that'd be a massive help to this channel, and it'll let me know that you like these types of videos. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.